everybody in. 400-meter warm-up, then hard #1 set. Now, I want you to remember everything I've told you. Efficiency, feel, reach. Off you go.
Paul Hickson was one of the top coaches in the country. He was an Olympic coach. We couldn't believe it when we heard that he had come to Swansea.
Yeah, very good, Jill. Very good indeed. Now, I want you to train with the Great Britain swimmers. So we'll see how we get on from there, okay? That is it.
My daughter was in another swimming club, but when we heard that he had come to Swansea, she couldn't wait to get down there and to be coached by him.
Hard main set now, give it a try. Okay. Come on.
It was really a dream come true, I suppose, for the club, for the city of Swansea, for the area.
There will now follow presentation. The girls 16.
Don't worry. Oh, Jill, that's you. You won that race. Oh, yeah.
In first place, with a time of 25:03, Jill Davis of the city of Swansea.
We all have our bad days, Kathy. You'll get over it.
It's not that she's worried about. It's the journey home.
What do you mean, the journey home?
You'll be okay, Kathy. Just don't sit in the front seat.
Come on, Kathy. Room for one in the front. All swimming stars have relationships with their coaches, Kathy. It helps develop their careers.
If I get to the top, it'll be on my tab, not anything else.
We're getting near to Swansea. You could go to the fitness centre. There won't be anybody there.
I just want to go home.
Kathy, you swam badly today. You need to be punished.
No!
Kathy, do what I say.
Just take me home, please.
By 1992, Paul Hickson was coaching at Millfield Public School in Somerset.
2, 3, 4.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Andrea. Happy birthday to you.
So, how's things going at Millfield? She's still having trouble there?
It doesn't seem to be working out.
So what will you do?
We don't know whether to keep her there or not. She's not really getting on with Paul Hickson, and she's not enjoying it.
Hickson's a pervert. He's a dirty old man. He touches up all the girls, Sophie, Kathy, Lisa, and the others.
What the hell was that all about? We've been in such a quandary over what to do. The first we heard was when she got back from a trip to France with Hickson. Mary and I have been trying to drag out of her just what was going on.
Well, you've got a problem now. You know I've got to say something.
Roger.
Mike, I have to report it. I'm a police officer. I can't ignore what Sally just said.
But can you do it without hurting the girls? We're so worried. It's his word against theirs.
Liz, come on, we're going home.
Lynn!
I felt absolutely devastated. I mean, it's a dreadful thing. I think it's just about a parent's worst nightmare. I've had experiences with this sort of offence. I knew that the first things that is said are usually the tip of the iceberg. I couldn't believe that anyone could have done that, especially to these dedicated people. And especially, I was worried about my own daughter, who had been a swimmer with Hickson.
Look, Roger, these people are our friends. Do you realise the effect an investigation could have?
Lynn, I don't understand.
Look, Paul Hickson's not training the Swansea team anymore. He's been at Millfield for the past year.
But he's the one who pushed Sally to go there.
Yeah, because she's the best in Wales.
I can't leave this, Lynn.
Look, the girls are all friends. They're in the same elite squad. Surely one of them would have said something by now.
You've taken Liz to training. Have you noticed anything?
No. Anyway, Sally was talking about the fitness test the older girls do at university. Liz isn't in the same age group.
So he's not touched her?
No. No, I've talked to her about it.
Thank God.
Oh, Roger, come in. We've been through your report, Roger, and what we've decided is this. Gaynor and I will speak to the 3 girls named by Sally Howells. Gaynor has a lot of experience in this type of case. She'll see the girls alone, and I'll talk to the parents. It'll be very low-key.
I'd appreciate that. I'm really worried about the effect on the girls and Sally.
But if what Sally says is true, then the case will go to Brian at Cockett CID.
If what Sally says is true, you could be looking at organised abuse.
Or a close-knit group of girls who are making it all up.
How young are these girls? Well, they're all teenagers. Hickson told them they could all be champions. I suppose that we thought he'd make our daughters famous.
Let's hope that's all he was doing.
I was away at Crystal Palace with my daughter, who was competing in a major British competition. Paul Hickson was there as coach of a Millfield squad. My wife rang and said that she'd heard some information from a parent concerning Paul Hickson and indecency against young girls, and that was a great shock to us. I don't know what I would have done if I'd have met Paul Hickson again after that. I don't think I would have been responsible for my actions.
In 1991, I started to keep a diary. It's all in there. Everything.
He tried it on, but I stopped him. He was embarrassed.
That meant he suggested things and tried to touch me. But I always pushed him away.
But you never told anyone?
No. We did try to tell someone once. It was a Friday evening and we'd been to the Chippy. One of us had had a fitness test in the morning, and so we had to speak to someone. We went to the phone box outside the pool to ring Childline.
You do it. No, it's your idea. You do it.
Hello? Sophie's recorded message.
Why didn't you tell your parents?
I couldn't. I hated Hickson for what he was doing to me. But who was going to believe me?
This man was God to them. He held the key to their future swimming hopes and ambitions. He made it clear to them that under his direction they could be international and Olympic swimmers. I was quite confident to allow my daughter to travel with him away. There was never any question in my mind or my wife's mind that he wasn't 100% genuine character.
Dad.
Come on, love. You know he doesn't like to be kept waiting. Go on.
She did change. She used to dress mostly in black and talk a little bit about death and suicide. I mean, we just assumed it was a normal teenage thing. And I suppose, really, we should have twigged then something was up.
I don't think it would be a good idea if you told anybody, Sophie, or I may not be able to pay attention to your swimming. Okay. Hard main, number 1 set. Concentrate on your breathing.
I was one of the youngest to join the squad. And in the early days, there was only a few swimmers who'd reached the national level.
Can you tell me about the fitness tests?
You didn't do them until you were 14. And only then if you'd been singled out to train at the university.
Go on.
The first couple of tests were okay, but it was about the third when things were different.
Right then, let's get started, okay? Now stop. The readings aren't coming through properly. You're gonna have to take your top off. The heart rate monitor won't give the correct readings. It's all right. It's not me. It's the machine.
He wanted to have sex with me, but I wouldn't let him. It was the most horrible experience of my life. I didn't shout or scream or even cry. I just got into the pool.
And how did Hickson behave afterwards?
Carried on as if nothing had happened.
And that fitness test probably upsets me more than all the rest of them, because that was under my instigation that she went back into the squad. And that's the one that really hurts. I do feel a lot of guilt that she had to go through that, because most kids do it to please their parents anyway, whether it's a swimming or schoolwork or whatever it is. And also the fact that she couldn't say anything to us is quite upsetting.
A cup of tea, love, please. How much is that?
15 pence, please.
Thank
you.
Ah, Brian.
Hi, Tom.
I think it's clear the girl Sally Howells was telling the truth. It's beginning to look very serious.
So they come back to CID then?
Oh, no doubt about it.
How many complaints have we got so far?
5. But the way it's going, there could be a lot more.
And it's just indecent assault?
Yes. You'll get the statements tomorrow.
So who are you seeing next?
One more girl, then it's over to you.
Brian, can I see you over there, please?
All right. Let's just keep in touch.
Right.
As far as Paul Hickson is concerned, there were no clues as such. His behaviour at the poolside was more than appropriate. There was no suggestion that anything untoward was going on within the fitness room. Paedophiles invariably are clever people. They're extremely careful not to draw attention to themselves or raise suspicion. When he did abuse, it was a one-to-one situation with no witnesses.
First year I was very happy. I was in the Welsh team and I hoped I might make the Great Britain team. Hickson kept saying it would help you swimming to have a rub down or a massage before a big competition.
All right, Jill, get undressed. It's all right. I won't watch.
frightened. I managed to push him away from me with one arm. He made me take my swimming costume off, so by this time I was naked. I really thought he was going to rape me.
Okay, Jill. Have a shower. Get rid of the oil. Best not to tell the others you've had a massage. Don't want them to think you've had preferential treatment.
Hickson's behaviour became more intimate and much more weird. I used to leave feeling sick and disgusted, and that I'd been used. That I'd served a purpose. In the end, I lost all respect for him and gave up swimming.
Well, Paul Hickson is an intelligent, articulate man who impressed a lot of people. He was at the absolute pinnacle of his career. He was the Olympic swimming team manager. He was regarded as one of the best, if not the best, swimming coach in the country. Any swimmer who had any swimming ambitions wanted him to be their coach. And I think each victim, when taken in isolation, thought that they would not be believed over and above Paul Hickson, and that's quite understandable in the circumstances.
But Brian Jenkins' hand was about to be forced. Paul Hickson had been given a new post as resident housemaster in charge of teenage girls boarding at Millfield.
Now then, Brian, out with it.
We need to move more quickly, Bruce. Hickson's getting ready to start the new term as living housemaster at Millfield. He'll have contact with a large number of young girls. A bit like putting a lunatic in charge of asylum.
Well, it'll be high profile, all right. A sex scandal with an Olympic coach at an English public school. It ain't gonna go down at all well.
We can't risk it. Imagine if we delay until we talk to all the girls, and in the meantime he assaults someone at Millfield.
Is there anything more serious than indecent assault?
Not at the moment. But Hickson suggested intercourse to some of the girls at Swansea. I get the feeling he's not content with just looking and touching.
So, what do you reckon?
Given his years of coaching, I think somewhere along the line he may have already raped someone. We've got to arrest him before the new term starts at Millfield.
All right, Tony, you wait here. We'll go in and Brian will make the arrest, all right? Sure. Millfield is famous for its sporting achievements. That's why we were so pleased to get an Olympic coach like Mr. Hickson. He's very well respected.
These names, Bruce. The best in Britain.
Paul, these gentlemen are detectives from South Wales Police.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Detective Inspector Shepherd, and this is Detective Sergeant Jenkins. We're from Swansea CID, and DS Jenkins here would very much appreciate a word with you. May we use your office, please?
I'm arresting you for indecently assaulting young females at Swansea University swimming complex. Do you wish to say anything? You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but whatever you say will be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence.
Oh my God, no. I mean, I would never do anything like that.
Okay, Tony.
Can I call my solicitor?
Yes.
Cyril, it's Paul Hickson. I've been arrested for indecent assault. And someone meet me at,
Swansea Central.
Swansea Central. Thank you.
Shall I?
Mr. Hickson, would you mind putting the golf club down, please?
Will you put the golf club down, please?
Sorry? Could one of your people drive my car to Swansea? So I got transport back.
Tom, can you sort that out?
Sure.
Right. Okay, ready to leave? I am D.S. Jenkins. The time is 15:25. Also present is D.I. Bruce Shepherd, Paul Hickson, and Mr. Henner's his lawyer. Right, Paul, you kept a record of each fitness test.
Yes, all properly filed. Look, you said that these rumours have been around since 1988. Well, that's plenty of time for people to discuss them, to get their stories together.
Now look, these children were totally committed to swimming. Their family and parents encouraged them. They would stand to lose a tremendous amount if they weren't actively participating at the very highest level. So for them to concoct stories about you would be possibly, in their minds, detrimental to that. And I believe that is why they haven't said anything prior to this.
Look, I've been dealing with people all my life, teaching in schools, working at universities, working with the British swimming team. I care about young people. I have never sexually assaulted anyone in my charge.
Really?
Okay. It may have been silly to do those tests without other people being present, but it was a semi-public room and anyone could wander in at any time. Well, I can see how some of my actions may be misconstrued by adolescent girls who talk amongst themselves. But my sole approach to them was as a coach swimmer. I wanted them to do well. I wanted to do everything possible to make them succeed.
That comes through a lot in the statements. Some of the girls hold you in very high esteem, even though they allege you committed these offences against them. One says she regretted losing you as a coach.
That's nice to hear. In 25 years, I have not, to my knowledge, indecently assaulted anyone.
Let's put it this way. If you had done what is alleged by Jill and Sophie, there's no way it would have been without your knowledge.
Independently, 7 girls have made statements that you indecently assaulted them. Do you have any comment to make about that?
No. Other than to say it isn't true.
Yes, sir.
We've got further witnesses to speak to, so we need a period of bail. 4 weeks?
Can you sign that, please? You're now being bailed to return here 3 o'clock p.m. on Friday the 3rd of October. We haven't got his car. I went to see the headmaster, and when we got back, his wife had gone off in it.
You what? How the hell am I supposed to get back to Millfield? You've done this deliberately.
All we've got is the girls' statements. It's their word against Hickson's. Mind you, he goes to great lengths to say the fitness room was open to anyone. People could wander in and out freely.
Well, their statements are very similar. So similar, it would have been hard to make up. And they all mention him locking the door.
Paul Hickson says it's impossible to lock these doors, that the room is semi-public.
Oh no, he's wrong. This is one of the few doors that can be locked from the inside as well as the outside. Some of the other offices, though, have had the locks on the inside of the door taken off because of the problem we have with burglars.
Burglars?
It's not a problem in this room, though, because as you can see, the windows are a bit high off the ground for anyone to climb in.
Not unless he's a 9-foot burglar, anyway.
If we think the windows are low enough for a burglar to get in, then we take the locks off the inside of the door, So once they're in the office, at least they can't get out. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm getting there. But the bottom line is that this door has always been lockable.
That's right.
At least now I know I can prove Hickson's a liar. Tony, I'm starting to have a good day. Let's check out the fitness test. As far as you know, there were no problems with the fitness test.
Well,
what?
There was something.
Oh, yeah?
One of the students complained she'd been asked to undress for the fitness test. I spoke to Hickson, but he denied it. So I sent him a formal warning letter.
Do you have a copy of the letter?
Yes, I've got it here.
There's no mention of the woman's name.
No, she wanted to remain anonymous.
Hickson told us there'd never been a complaint against him. That woman's nothing to do with the swimming team.
Mr. Adicott, I'm going to have to make a list of the most likely names and addresses.
Of course.
One of the girls we interviewed said that when you were in the fitness room with her, you locked the door. I thought you told us the door couldn't be locked. People could wander in and out.
They took all the locks out. I couldn't have locked the door even if I wanted to.
I've been to the university and looked at the lock on that door. It works. You told us no one had ever complained about your behaviour during the fitness test.
No. I can't remember.
That is a formal warning letter. Quite a significant occurrence, I would have thought. Not the sort of thing you'd forget.
Yes, but you'd asked me about indecent assault, and this letter doesn't mention anything about indecent assault. Come to think of it, it doesn't even mention the girl's name. And in all my time at university and elsewhere, there was never any mention or allegation of indecent assault.
You were naked in the fitness room with her?
That was disputed.
So what was the allegation?
There was never any allegation put to me.
Our information is that it was indecency.
I can't remember.
And how did Stan Adicott respond to all this?
We were old friends. I think he was very embarrassed about having to raise it with me. And afterwards I was still uneasy about testing women. So Adicott insisted that they were all chaperoned. I think that he thought that would solve the problem.
Did you?
Did I what?
Think it would solve the problem? You will be charged with offences of indecent assault upon 7 young girls.
Then what?
I should imagine the case will go to Swansea Crown Court sometime next year. Sorry, got bogged down in a robbery case.
No, you're all right. You're not late.
Gentlemen, I'm afraid my client, Paul Hickson, has disappeared.
What?
He's not turned up.
Is Mrs. Hickson here?
No, I'm just going to call her.
Paul Hickson has disappeared.
I wish I'd never said anything. What's going to happen now he's gone?
Thank you very much.
Can I offer you a newspaper and a drink?
Yeah, have you got a copy of Le Monde?
Certainly.
And I'd like a whiskey and water, please.
Why did you allow him out on bail? You must have thought there might be a chance he'd do this.
All I can do is ask you to be patient. I know it hasn't been easy for you or your children, but you've come this far, and we'll do all we can to help you.
Does that mean we have to go through all this again? I don't think I can stand it.
An innocent man doesn't do this. We'll find him.
I had no reason to believe that he wasn't going to turn up. I don't think anyone did. He was the type of man that I thought would welcome the opportunity to answer the charges made against him. The witnesses were very upset, and I was anxious that maybe it would be some time before he was traced.
Hi, Brian.
I heard about the fiasco in the courtroom. Any news?
None I'm prepared to share with you.
Oh, you don't change. Well, suit yourself. But you know, the Evening Post could help you catch this man.
There's nothing we can do. There's a court ban revealing his identity. My hands are tied. Technically, he's an innocent man.
Yeah.
We can't cover the story. I'm really worried about him setting up somewhere else in the country. If we could get the publicity ban lifted.
Yeah?
I could use your help. He may be advertising in swimming and sporting magazines. You know, offering training, that sort of thing. Is there any way you could find out?
Yeah, I can try. But if you can get the ban lifted, I can keep the story going until we get this guy. It's up to you.
Thanks a lot. Keep the change.
The ban was eventually lifted, and following an appeal on Crimewatch UK, the case took on a new twist.
Hello, I'm Bruce Shepherd for the Crimewatch studio.
Oh, yes, they've phoned a few times. Here's your pass. Someone's on their way down to meet you now.
I just hope it's on long enough for people to recognise him.
With dark hair, which is greying and receding. We're now here with Detective Constable Jackie Haynes and Superintendent David Hatcher with this month's cases.
This is Paul Anthony Hickson, an international swimming coach who trained the British team for the 1988 Olympics in Seoul. South Wales Police would like to trace him in connection with a series of indecent assaults on young women in Swansea. He's 46 years old, 5'9", of slim athletic build, and has sandy-coloured hair. Last seen in September 1993 in Somerset. If you know where he is, please call us.
Do you recognise this man? Thames Valley Police are keen to speak to him about him.
Hello?
Bettina, it's Mother.
Yes, hello, Mother. What is it?
Your swimming coach in the 70s. I've just seen him on television.
When my mother phoned, my whole life flashed before my eyes, and the flashbacks were incredibly vivid and painful. I was extremely unwell. The man was a manipulator, a calculated, cold monster who knew what he was doing. If I sat down and started to think seriously about what I could have been, I could drive myself insane. I was the first Norfolk girl to ever get into a national squad. I then also broke English and British records, freestyle and butterfly. I also made the Moscow Olympic team, but I didn't want to be successful because it meant that someone who I regarded as very evil and very horrible was going to be successful as a result of my success. And so I was trapped. The sexual abuse took place from the ages of 12 up to 18 and a half. I couldn't actually really tell the police to begin with. My own head was swimming with all the trapped and repressed emotions that I had blocked out.
Bettina? Bettina?
No one's ever going to believe you. No one's ever going to believe you. No one's ever going to believe you. No one's ever going to believe you.
The man was so evil that he was actually able to twist my mind into believing that no one would believe me. I had to think clearly about what would be ahead, because I was petrified.
Who is it?
It's the police. We've come to see Bettina Doyle.
That's me. He sent you, hasn't he, to kill me?
Nobody sent us. We're police officers. You asked us to come round.
Why aren't you in uniform?
We're plainclothes officers. Let us in, you can see our ID cards.
No.
Bettina, we are police. We're here because you asked us to come.
The first thing that happened was when I was 13. Hickson had invited me to do some exercises at his house. I was a bit nervous. He told me his wife wasn't there. After some exercises, he told me to sit on his lap. I said I wasn't sure. But he was my coach. He raped me.
Okay, go on.
I kept on saying, not before my 14th birthday. But he did it anyway. Then Hickson suggested I went on the pill. I told him I was a bit young, but he said all the Russian swimmers were on the pill. I kept crying and breaking down, and I gave up swimming in 1982.
Bettina, I know it's difficult. Would you be able to say this in court?
I've lived with this for years and said nothing. I want to see him punished. See him get what he deserves.
The fact that it went on for such a long while, I sometimes even think myself, why did I allow that to go on? And why did I allow a man to consistently rape me?
Thank you, Russell.
The allegations that Bettina made were appalling and made it all the more important that he ought to be traced.
We've spoken to the Irish Swimming Association in Interpol, just in case he had a second passport.
And?
Nothing. The longer this goes on, Bruce, the less chance there is of us finding him. And the more chance there is that Mrs. Hickson will go and join him, wherever he is. We're still getting sightings. Someone reckons he's working in London as a cab driver. Mrs. Hickson is the key to this.
All right, Brian, we will try and speak to Mrs. Hickson. Then perhaps you can get on with that other case in London.
I didn't become preoccupied with it, honestly, but I suppose you get a little bit despondent. There was information trickling in about his whereabouts from various sources at various times. I was always confident that he would surface somewhere. At that time, I had a number of inquiries that I had to do in London, and I found myself, whenever I was there, always looking at taxi drivers to see if I could see Paul Hickson. It was a long shot, but I just couldn't help doing it.
Hello? It's Jenkins, the Welsh Mountie.
Any leads on Hickson?
Yeah, an old lady from Llangollen.
Saw him in the supermarket. The one where Elvis works on the checkout.
Oh, very funny. Just be serious, Russell, please.
Yeah, okay, okay.
One of your contacts has phoned in to say he's working in France.
Oh, yeah?
Fits in with your idea that he's living abroad.
Right. Okay, well, I'll speak to you on Thursday. Right. Bye.
Did you have anyone like that staying with you?
But that lead turned out to be a frustrating dead end. So too were the hundreds of other sightings across Britain.
Any ideas? Did you remember anybody like that who stayed here?
No, I don't. No.
Nobody at all?
No.
All right, thank you for your trouble, sir. Morning.
We're trying to trace this man. Have you seen him before?
No, sorry, I haven't.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Well, that's a lot then, Brian. Not a trace at all.
As the police became increasingly despondent, unexpected news came in from their colleagues in Norwich.
I finally find somebody who can corroborate Bettina Doyle's statement. Liz Phillips. I'm off to see her now. Well, that'll keep South Wales happy.
I know you're nervous, Liz, but really there's nothing to worry about. We've had these allegations made against Paul Hickson, And I just wanted to know if you can remember anything about when he coached you. I know it's a long time ago, but...
He was always touching me. I didn't like it. I knew it wasn't right, but he was my coach, and I was supposed to trust him.
Okay, Liz, just tell me what happened.
He raped me, and worse. I knew it was wrong, but he was so respected by everyone. I thought it was supposed to happen. He'd do those things to me, hurt me, and then in the pool he'd ignore me. He'd take no notice of me. You're the first person I've spoken to about this. I was so totally influenced by Hickson. Swimming completely takes over your life. And my father was so proud of me. And Hickson made me feel so dirty. But you see, when you get on with your coach, you believe that he can make you a better swimmer, so you don't do anything to stop that. Because you just want to be the best.
That doesn't give him the right to do what he did.
I thought he was only doing it to me. So I just went into a shell, pretended everything was all right. There was no one I could talk to.
I just wondered how long it was going to go on, how many other allegations were going to be made against him. From what source. I wasn't really surprised, but the nature and the seriousness of the allegations did surprise me.
I wondered if you could check a hotel register for me, please.
I don't think I ever gave up hope. There were various times of the year that sort of renewed hope. Certainly Christmas was a time that I expected, or would have expected, some contact with his family.
Could you do it as soon as possible, please, because it really is very urgent. Thank you. Tracy. Hello, D.S. Jenkins. Right, thank you. Russell, get your coat. We're going to Nottingham. I'll give you Welsh Mountie. One of my contacts spoke to someone who said they overheard Mrs. Hickson saying she was spending Christmas with her husband at Centre Parks.
But we've had these wild goose chases before, Sarge.
I know, so I got Nottingham Police to check. And there's a booking in the name of Hickson for the Christmas week.
If he's so clever, would he really make a reservation in his own name?
Not if he's clever, no. But Hickson's a very, very arrogant man. Dry white wine, please.
Yeah, same for me, please. So you think he'll be there?
Let's hope so, Russell. This could be our last chance.
Brian Jenkins knew that if this failed, the chances were he would be forced to give up the search for Paul Hickson.
Hi, D.S. Jenkins, Swansea CID. We believe a man of that description will be signing in with you tonight.
Right.
These two gentlemen will be sat on the settee there. And I'll leave you with a photograph. When he comes in, could you give him a nod for me?
Certainly, yes, of course.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
If you want any more, just give me a shout.
Okay, cheers.
Sugar, sir?
Yeah, one, please.
Maybe we should just give up being your hours.
We'll give it another hour, then we go to bed for the night.
Sarge, he's here. He's upstairs now.
Where is she?
Round you on the left. There she is on the end.
That's not her. That's not Mrs. Hickson.
It looks like her, though.
And where's he?
He's just sitting on the right.
That's lovely. That's your room key. Enjoy your stay. Merry Christmas.
Andrew.
Mr. Hickson, can you come with me, please?
Not in front of my daughter.
Okay, we'll just talk in the office. Paul Hickson, you are now under arrest for rape and serious sexual offences on Bettina Doyle, which are alleged to have occurred in 1976 in the Norwich area. Do you wish to say anything? You're not obliged to say anything unless you wish to do so, but whatever you say will be taken down in writing and may be given in evidence.
God, no, not more. Can I see my wife?
Okay. Bring Mrs. Hickson in.
That was probably one of the most satisfying moments of my career. This man that have committed very, very serious offences, who thought that he could probably get away with it.
You could at least let me spend Christmas with my family, my wife. You bastard!
Okay, come on. Come on.
Paul Hickson has never shown any remorse for what he did. It was just as if these girls were his to do as he wanted, and to commit the indecent acts that he did was just a perk of his job.
It's been a long time, Paul. What have you been doing?
Teaching English in France.
So how's your French?
Damn sight better since I last saw you.
When you worried about coming back? You know, looking over your shoulder?
No, I thought you'd have better things to do than go looking for me.
I felt elated that something I had believed would happen was finally actually going to take place, and that Paul Hickson would know what British justice is.
I was confident that Paul Hickson would be found guilty. The evidence against him was good. The witnesses were good. They had come to court prepared to give evidence. It couldn't have been an easy decision for them to make, because for some of them it had happened sometime in the past.
Paul Anthony Hickson, I have to sentence you for a total of 15 offences, some of which are of a grievous sexual nature.
We will never, ever forget it. It's something that we realise our daughter has had to put up with. She's had nightmares over it. She will have to carry this with her for the rest of her life.
The parents had great ambitions for their children, which you thwarted and blighted by your actions. These were young, sensitive girls who were prepared to work as hard as any human being could to get to the top. It was their life. We heard it time and again. It was their life.
Paul Hickson was sentenced to 17 years in prison. On appeal, it was reduced to 15.
Paul Hickson was an articulate, intelligent, calculating, devious man who engineered situations to satisfy his own perverse needs. At the end of the day, the sentence that he had imposed justified the seriousness of the offences he had committed.
He had abused young girls for many, many years, Paul Hickson. If it hadn't come out, somebody somewhere would be suffering at this very moment. If somebody out there is experiencing this, I know it's hard, I know it's difficult, please tell someone. You will be believed. You will.